So if you were following along in the last video, building the cage in the Miata, we had a bit of a debate whether to run this mohawk bar in the middle or the diagonal. And as you can see, the diagonal won. I read a lot of the comments and I was pretty surprised at how close they actually were in the votes. But overall, the safety won. I got it to look nice. I got it nice and level. I think the conflict I had with the diagonal before is it didn't look that cool because it was sticking up a little too high. So I remade the bar, I got it down to where I like it, I adjusted the bends a little bit, and it looks very nice. I know it's gonna be a lot safer in the long run, so it's gonna work out really well, especially if I want to build myself another top for this, which I totally plan to do in the future. I think it'll work out a little bit better. So that ultimately won, much to Sam and Emily's dismay. The diagonal won, but I don't think Emily really wanted to argue with the safety aspect of it, as she will be riding with me for multiple events. But I'm very happy with the way it turned out. It's finally all welded up. I like the way the door bars sit. I got a nice little armrest here. Nothing is really impeding anything for me, and I have plenty of space with a helmet. So that was my main concern, was just the safety and the head clearance, and I have plenty of room. So very happy with the way the cage has turned out. The next steps for me are to fit up the dash, clean up the interior a bit, and then pretty much paint is all that's left. So paint this thing, and then this will go get a few new modifications, and I'll have to test a few things and just some general maintenance before we get out to Drift Indy GP. So this car is pretty well set. I will be doing some stuff in the future, making door cards and things like that. I definitely want the creature comforts back in it. I want the radio and stuff to work, as this is a fun car to drive around. It's still street legal. The only change is that there's a cage in it. So it's still a very nice street vehicle, and we're ready to go. So as you can see here, I got the diagonal all welded in, and yeah, it sits nice and flush with the roof line. So I'm really happy with how that looks. And then even from the back and the front, it kind of vanishes when you get down level, and that is the desired look that I want. So I'm very happy with the way that turned out. I'm sorry if the camera's a bit shaky here. I did drop it just recently, so a little difficult to get them to match, but they matched up really nice and everything is looking good. So next up, fit the dash, clean up the interior and paint it, and we're moving on. So that's a quick update on the Miata. It's pretty much there. Just basically making it look good and going through some maintenance, and that car would be ready for Drift Indy GP and Drift Appalachia, which is the week after. So I'm pretty comfortable with where that sits at the moment, and I got to get back to work on the S14. As you can see behind me, I have quite a few boxes and parts have shown up. I got to get cracking on that, as that event is going to come up very quick and I have so much work to do. I'll give you an update on that here in a little bit. But what I wanted to do first was give you an update on the shop. I've been working in this space for quite a while now. I'm starting to get a flow to it. I really like how the racks have worked out. This little rolling cart has worked out phenomenal for me. I finally got a bunch of hardware to put in there, and I'm starting to organize some of the projects. That's something you'll see next week as well. I'm gonna have to use this cart for the S14 project, but let me show you the real upgrade in the fab area. So for those of you that have been following along, I have made quite a few things to make my life easy, and one of them was this bench. I really like this rolling cart that has all of my fabrication tools on it. It has been phenomenal, and I like the way that everything is organized. I've really noticed it as I started working on the roll cage. It's very easy to cut my material and then take it to the sander or make small adjustments with the vise. And then having a drill press up here that's completely out of the way is super nice to have. So this has been a really good upgrade, as all the wires are tucked away, nothing's hanging out everywhere. I can just move this wherever I want to, but it's been pretty good in this location here. And one of the other things I've just recently purchased was this little rolling bench from Home Depot. And it's adjustable. I can roll it up and down. So adjusting that height is very nice. I've been able to just keep this mobile, roll around the shop, take it wherever I'm working. You may have seen it in some of my videos. So this has been a very useful table, and the bandsaw has really worked out for me as well. It's basically for smaller pieces, but I've been able to adapt to that, and it's working out really good for me. It has some drawers in here as well where I keep my templates. So that stuff doesn't get lost. but that thing being mobile, and actually everything being mobile here has been very helpful, because sometimes I work in an area and I just don't like where I'm at, or it just kind of messes with the flow. Having everything on wheels is awesome, so I can just move it around and cater to whatever project I have. So it's been a very good area. I have this really small welding table. I plan on upgrading in the future, but it has worked out. And as you saw, I had this bench. It was one of the first things I made when I got in here that has my grinder and stuff like that over there. I'll plan on kind of reorganizing that area, but this as a fab area has worked out really well. But there was something missing, and this whole thing has worked out for me pretty well. But one thing I really needed was proper lighting. As you can see right now, it's fairly dark. You might not have caught it in some of the videos as I'm trying to cut stuff or draw things. It's really been bugging me, and I finally fixed that. Before I started this roll cage, I added some lights. Let me show you the difference. So this is obviously the before, and look at how much this area is transformed. It is so much brighter in here. I don't have shadows everywhere that are casted. So when I'm marking stuff out, when I'm drawing stuff, I can see. And that is very crucial, especially making notches and stuff for a roll cage. You gotta see exactly what you're doing. So having proper lighting is arguably one of the most important things in a fabrication shop. And I finally got it to where I like it. This area has transformed completely, and I'm very happy with it. So these are the lights I got. This is the HYPERLITE LED high bay light. It is their Hero series. It is adjustable as far as the color temperature and the wattage, so that can be very helpful. They're super bright. I only have 2 installed right now, and it has been fantastic. I ordered 6 of these as I plan on putting them around the shop. I wanted to feel out where everything needed to go, where I felt like light was lacking, and the fab area was definitely #1 on that, and I am really happy with just 2 of these lights in this area. All right, so here's what we're looking at inside the box. So here is the light, and you can see it's fairly small, it's very shallow. It has these cooling fins on top here, and it's very easy to install. Is you have this hook right here, and this hook will just screw into the top. You can hang that anywhere you like, and as I said, easy to install. There's a plug right here. You can just plug that baby in, and then you have the wiring whip for your dimmer switch. But let me show you one of the cooler features here, is you have the cooling fins on top, but you can see this little guy here. We'll just take that out. So in here you can see there are a couple of switches, and this will adjust the wattage and the temperature. This particular light I have is 100 watts, so you can run 100, 80, or 60 watts. I have mine currently set at 100 as I wanted it super bright in here. The other switch down here will adjust the light temperature. So that would be 4K, 5K, or 6K, and that would just basically adjust the warmth of the light. So I'm just gonna plug this in and show you a little bit of the adjustment in temperature and wattage. So right now, this is at 60 watts and 4K. So 4K will be the warmest temperature, and I will show you what the temperature looks like when I change it. This is 4K, this is 5K, and that is 6K. So you can see the temperature change. This is much cooler. So back to 5, it gets a bit warmer. 4K, very warm, more like your household lighting. And then this is at 60 watts. So 60 watts, 80 watts, and 100 watts. So you can see that get a bit brighter. And then we'll go all the way to 6K and all the way up to 100 watts, which is currently what I have in the shop right now. This is very bright. So it's very simple to change, and it might be a little hard for you to see as it's etched on here, but these are where the settings are. So you can just move those back and forth, and that will tell you if you're 4K, 100 watt, 60 watt, whatever you're at. And you can play with it and decide what you like. So as you can see above me, I have the 2 lights set at 100 watts with a 6K temperature, and that's basically what matched the other lights in the shop. It is so much brighter in here, and I kept these on their own switch. So I added some conduit down by the door here, added a switch, and then I added some more boxes up above here into the loft. And I added a couple boxes throughout so I can add some more in the future. Like I said, I have 6. This is only 2. So I'm gonna play with the area, see what needs the lighting. But right now I'm really happy with this. It turned out great and super easy to install. They're very cheap. So if your shop is lacking in some lighting, go to hyperlite.com, check out what they have. This is the High Bay Light Series, the Hero Series, and I'm very happy with it. It's cheap, it's easy to install. I will link it in the description. Check out that link, and if you want to save a few more dollars, use access code DANGER. Super easy. Access code DANGER at checkout. DANGER. And for those of you that remember, HYPERLITE also made my neon sign over there, which is really cool. Go check it out. Just go click around their website. They got some really neat stuff for your shop, for your home. It's very cool. So check it out. Access code DANGER. Link is in the description. Now let's get back to the S14. Now that the Miata is pretty much where I need it to be, I can get back to work on the S14. For those of you that have been following along with that build, you can be very excited that some of the parts have shown up. I got the rear end on the S14. It's just mocked up, kind of out of the way. And this is my parts shelf area that I've just been stocking stuff. And as you can see, it is pretty full up and I'm ready to get back to work. I got new coilovers, I got batteries, I got all kinds of goodies. But the most important thing for me this week is that I got all of the engine components in. So I will be building the 2JZ. That has to go off to my engine builder on Monday, which is only a couple days away. So I have to get the 2JZ stripped down and put in the new pistons, rods, and bearings, which is going to be phenomenal. I'm super excited about that. So I'll give you a breakdown on the engine setup and what we're doing with that, what power numbers we're looking for, and I'm very excited to get that in motion and get that ready so when it comes back, I'm ready to put it in the car and get this thing to work. Now that I have all of these boxes and all of these brand new parts that I'm ready to put on the car, I can't put them on yet because I have so much fabrication to do still. I have to get the radiator installed. I have to build out the rear bash bar and that whole setup. And then I have to build the front to hold the intercooler and all that stuff. So there's a lot going on with fabrication. So the Miata will be the primary drift car at the moment, and that will be going to Drift Indy GP, and then the week after, Drift Appalachia. Those will have videos themselves, and it should be a really good time. I'm very excited to take the Miata out on the mountain, and also I'm very excited for Drift Indy GP, get it back and compete with some of these new young guns and some of my old friends. So it should be a really good time. I'm just gonna be there for fun. I do plan on taking the S14 later in the season, so we'll see how it goes from the Miata to the S14. So as you can see, I have a lot going on. I still have some bits to do on the Miata, and I have so much work on the S14, I can hardly even think about it, but I'm also gonna watch FD this weekend. It's the first round, Long Beach, Formula Drift, so I urge you to watch it. It's going to be really exciting. We got new drivers like Jack Shanahan. We have returning drivers like Daigo Saito. So it's going to be a very exciting FD weekend, and I will be watching it as I will be doing the recap for Wrecked Magazine. You can watch that next week on YouTube. So I will be giving the full recap of Formula Drift and the best drivers in our sport, give you a bunch of juicy details, what's going on with it. So check that out. But for now, I have to get back to work. I got to get this motor ready to go and get this out to the engine builder. So as always, thank you guys for watching, and just, treat yourself this weekend. Go do something fun. You deserve it. I know you do. You deserve it. Go do something fun. Or watch drifting. That's also fun. See ya.